Not cute. Not cute. I'm afraid to turn this light off. The aliens are going to show up. Coco, did you see the aliens in the corner or in that doorway on the? Did you see the live the other day with the aliens? Coco, Nikki Reed. All right. 2:22 when I looked at the thing. I feel like I said, let's start this in 10 minutes, and then I started a little prematurely. Let me make sure. Yeah, we'll give everyone a couple more minutes to get here. Let's talk about, I think I had a tick-borne illness. The longer I take these goddamn antibiotics, the more I'm like, oh, I definitely, because I got bit by a tick. Remember, it was on like a live stream right after I got there. I like found it in my hair in Mark's studio, and he took it out on the live. It was pretty quickly after that I was, it started out as I got really cloudy headed. I had a really hard time focusing and like a really hard time finding words. I was getting headaches. I was eventually getting vertigo. By the end, my joints were just throbbing. My muscles were completely weak. Like when I threw my back out, I couldn't bend at the knees because my legs were just mush. But like the biggest symptom was like lethargy, and like my brain was melted. And because there were so many variables, there was like stress around the circumstances at Mark's, and the apocalypse and the timeline shifting, and Tennessee weather. And it was on top of my head, so I didn't get a target rash, but I know people who've gotten, I'm not sure that I got Lyme. The doctor said that there's several things that you can get with similar symptoms from a tick. But my brain wasn't working, and I was so tired. And I am typically someone who can do podcasts, comedy. I was doing 8-9 hours of readings a day, 7 days a week for months, and then had just cut it back to like 5 days a week, but was still working like crazy. And I got to Tennessee and like presumably had more time on my hands because I wasn't doing stand-up and didn't have a social life. And I was like, by the time I was like, this is why I had to quit doing readings. I was like, I'm never in the space to do them, and I can't get anything else done. But that's really not like me. I'm usually someone who thrives with 100 things on my plate. And not a requirement, just something that says yes. Did you ever have a Target rash? Oh, got it. Yeah. Well, it was on top of my head, but then that thing on top of my head got infected. Anyway, I hugs to all, watching Pose with my son. Oh, I should get my glasses. Anyway, the ticks were everywhere, and like Mark was constantly getting bit by ticks, and so I just weirdly, I was afraid of ticks before that. In the living in Delaware, I'd had multiple friends get fucked up by Lyme, and I think I was like thought I was looking for the symptoms of it, and then it didn't look exactly how I thought. By the time I'd been there like 2 months, I was saying on a regular basis, there's something wrong with my body. Like my body is like a rash from Target. Something's in my body. Something's eating my body. And then by the end, I was just like, I had to be laying down all the time. Like I couldn't even sit up. And thank God I got horse strep, because that made me go to the doctor. And but Mark also got horse strep. So I didn't even ask about Lyme, because I had considered that I knew I got bit by a tick, and I was like, this has been going on for a while. I've been fucked up for a while. But then he was also sick, and I think Nate got sick. And so I was like, it's contagious, whatever it is. And then they both got better, and I didn't get better. And so I was like, Tennessee is killing me. I got to get out of Tennessee. And so I jumped in the day I was leaving, like an hour before I left, the doctor called, and I was like, hey, I got bit by a tick 3 months ago. And my knee, like everything hurts. Like, is this it? And then she was like, well, you actually have strep C also, but she gave me antibiotics for both. And now that I've been on antibiotics for a week, I'm like, holy fuck, I have been sick for months. I just have this like stupid high pain threshold that I'll just like write shit off for a long time. Pretty tuned into my body, but like there was too many variables. Are you feeling clear-headed now that you're out of Tennessee and away from the vampires? I don't even think it was the vampires. I mean, I'm sure the vampires, yeah, but I'm telling you, I was sick. I was like, I have to like Google it. But my brain was being eaten by a tick-borne illness. This is my new theory. I'm still moving to Arizona because I also don't like the vampires. But I'm telling you, there was something fucking wrong with me for months. Thank you guys for sticking around, because I'm like, I would just like lose my thought like halfway through a sentence. But we're going to a goddamn ascension and the apocalypse. And so I just would be like, all right, this is just a symptom, But now that I'm here, I'm like, no, I was like, and my fingers were starting to get like weird. Anyway, I've wasted enough time talking about it. I am fascinated. I had I don't know if it was Lyme or what, but so here's a bunch of information that's probably going to be on this week's podcast, but I've got some downloads about what's coming. The timelines are splitting. My whole demeanor feels different. Yeah, this is like who I am. And this was like not what I was there. And I was writing it off to the vampires and the stress and everything else, which doesn't usually get to me. I'm like, I could just like burn off like it was also out of character. And I'm like, this is dumb shit. Like, it's just is like life is sometimes hard. I knew I was like mourning and grieving. I had a pretty sweet life in LA. There's like pressure and heaviness in the collective, but like I was getting my ass handed to me, and that doesn't usually happen to me. And now I'm like, oh, I was physically sick. That's what was happening. So thank you everyone for noticing that I am hilarious again. Anyway, here's some downloads. Okay, ready? The next month is going to be a lot of timeline jumping for people who are on higher timelines. I know that people love to tell me that they are not on higher timelines. I just don't think there would be a lot of listening to this podcast if you weren't supposed to be on a higher timeline. And it isn't is that what me and Noah said? Oh, it's weird because Noah had a tick on his balls or something for one of our there's been ticks everywhere and they represent something, I think, but I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so I'm not going to look at this for a couple minutes because I don't want to get distracted, and it's a lot of downloads, and a lot of this will be on this week's episode, but you guys get it first. So the upstairs, downstairs, the higher timelines, the lower timelines, okay? So as we go, I can't make both of my hands go this way. As we are going forward, the lower timelines are going to dip in and out of death and birth, okay? Birth will be people waking up and new systems being created, new things being built. Death will be destruction of the old thing, okay? That's going to come in waves. The higher timelines, we have to go live on the higher timelines, okay? We have been, for the most part, living on the higher timelines. That means you can't identify with the death and the destruction that's happening. There's a strong temptation to identify with it, okay? As we go through cycles of it, it'll get easier and easier to stay on the higher timeline. I'm not telling you never feel fear. I'm not telling you don't wear a mask because that's whatever. Like, your physical body, your avatar is on this planet. Your experience is higher dimensional. So another thing is that for the next, from mid-September to mid-December, the purpose is to hide your consciousness in the sixth dimension, but be of service to people in the lower dimensions. So the desire, guilt, and obligation makes us want to suffer with the people who are suffering. That does nothing. We help nobody by suffering with them, okay? Our shit's likely not going to collapse. Don't get attached to that. Be open to any loss that needs to come. But do not, if the loss doesn't come, do not seek it out or seek to identify with it or seek to get in a pissing match about whose life is more difficult because you want to identify with the victimhood that's happening. Rather, roll up your sleeves and take your abundance and use it to bring relief to people on the lower timelines. So examples of that are, these evictions are going to come. To me, it kind of feels like the government is going to step in September, but I could be wrong. The evictions are coming. The end of this unemployment is coming. So the actual economic collapse that has been staved off by that is coming. Those of us who have hacked abundance and have resources should be using those resources. You do whatever you want to do. But an example of this and something that I feel led to do is start a fund and move Imagination Project funds towards providing rent relief for people facing evictions. Now, once again, my lesson forever is the throwing one starfish back to the ocean, because my mind immediately does math and is like, well, I can help 5 people. That's fucked up. There's millions of people getting evicted, but it's one starfish back to the ocean. So Nikki and I are working on a fund for everyone to put into if you want. And then I'll just announce it on the podcast. So first of all, people from the Soberish community, if they need help, obviously that's who gets it first. And then, I've a pretty decent reach. So if you have funds, you have resources, you've hacked abundance, and you want to help people on the lower timelines, that's an option. But obviously anything that makes sense to you. If you don't have funds, but you have time, volunteering to help the homeless, making gift care packages, whatever we can do to create comfort for people who are suffering through this timeline, it is just like a restoration of energy. And then obviously as much of that can be pointed towards communities that are marginalized, the better. It's feeling more civil unrest to me than famine. The famine's not looking how I thought the famine was going to look, but November's hot. November's hot. Be prepared for whatever the fuck in November. And also, we're just moving towards a fucking surveillance state. I've been saying that for a while. It's fine. it has to happen. Like, we have to like resign to the fact that there is no fucking external authority. And in order to get to that, authority has to completely overstep. So this clown overstepping, it just doesn't, it's fine. It's fine. It's a phase. I'm losing friendships over this. It is just a phase. It is not going to last because there is no external authority. No one can be your fucking authority without your permission. So that said, you are in the matrix. Because November is when voting is, yeah. So yeah. I'm not going to speculate on what I think it is. Yeah, it's when the election is. I've been purposely holding money in my pocket for the homeless that I encounter when I'm out. I love that. Is this Handmaid's Tale? I haven't seen that, but kind of, yeah. We're playing out a few different scenarios. You know, we've been calling the man Hitler for a really long time. You know, we're probably going to see that for a minute. We're going to see an attempt to like recreate that story. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's painful. Feel your feelings. Don't, you know, do whatever you got to do. But like, it's okay. This is really time to start building the new. And so if you don't feel particularly arsenal, it's just time to start plugging away on the new. I originally didn't think we were going to be able to start working on building communities until next August, but it's starting to feel a little bit sooner. This is Brian. Brian is telling me that I most certainly do not love him. I may have brought up potentially changing the opening song of the podcast. He's not taking it well. I've been purposeful There have been multiple simulations for attacks on election day. Can we ignore Christmas? That's going to be weird. God, Christmas is going to be weird, right? It's like, my poor kids. I just want my kids, like, I get it, man. So my kids are just like, can't see their cousin because she lives in a different state. Not to be like, that's like, okay. Can y'all please send healing energy to Ruth Bader Ginsburg? I feel like her staying alive has a lot to do with the Civil War timeline. I'm really itching to find some land and begin a community, but not sure how to start. Okay, so the only reason we're not building right now is because it is collapsing. And you don't want to build anything during the collapse, okay? Because it will collapse probably. Some dates to be aware of. The next 4 weeks, you're going to spend time getting ready, like getting to your higher timeline. So a lot of people are kind of in manifestation mode. I utterly forgot how much I get downloads for the collective from doing a bunch of readings. So I'm glad I have been doing that. We are, I'm going to talk about the 2-cup method. I'm going to talk about how to hop to that timeline, how to step into abundance, how to manifest abundance. That's going to be on this week's episode. Mars goes retrograde from September 9th till like November 18th or something. That's a hot time. And it's also not a good time to launch anything. Don't launch anything during that time because it will fizzle out. I'm going to do just another like kind of simple reading. Do another kind of pick a card style. So be thinking of number 1 through 3. My readings are fire. Thank you. It actually feels great to be back to work. And it's so funny that I was like, I got to stop doing readings so I could do Imagination Project. For the last 2 days, I've done readings for 5 straight hours. I spend the morning getting all like trying to get a house because I'm still living in this hotel. getting all those ducks in a row, getting everything situated. And then I do readings for 5 hours. And then in the evening, I'm making content and working on imagination projects and putting these things back together. And it's like, oh man, a tick was eating my brain. And she's back. All right. None of that has included washing my hair. All right. Here we go. I'm glad you're bringing the cards back lately. Yeah, I couldn't tell what the card said. My brain was melted. I've been woken up by voices in my head a lot lately. They keep saying, find the source. Also, a lot of shadowy figures walking by me. I'm having trouble with the politics because all the politicians seems compromised. Yeah, it's the end of that, right? That's why it's got to be the end of authority. So that all of it's bullshit. I mean, vote I'm going to vote just so that I can talk about how we don't live in a democracy, and I feel like people don't listen to you if you didn't vote. So I'll vote just so that I can say it. But something from my reading with you yesterday already came to a close. Holy shit. I think I read an email from you about that. Just to thank you again for the reading earlier today. I was walking into dinner and I didn't get to say thank you. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. I don't know how to take any of that. All right. So first we're going to do the premise. Well, pick a thing, 1, 2, 3. I literally just got ripped off my previous timeline. Whole life changed in 1 week. I feel like my guides higher self were like, nope, hard at first, but in my heart, I knew it was right. And it all turned out for the super positive. That's a huge fucking theme right now. Prepare for massive timeline shifts in the next 4 weeks, but you're going to get to decide a lot of it. I mean, yeah, it's all positive. All right. So pile 1. Your theme here, I feel like I'm shouting like an insane person. Your theme is alignment, okay? So this is you lining up with what you want. You got a sword, a heart, some wings. Maybe you're a bird. Interesting. Your galactic card is balance. Okay. Forgiveness is a theme here. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love, and your advice is against the grain. Very nice ladybug there. All right. So I'm going to read from Sacred Rebels and Galactic Heritage. The Arcturus energy exists with its polarities totally balanced. Because one polarity isn't stronger than another, its energy appears very gentle. But don't let that gentleness fool you. The power of its balanced energy can dramatically open your heart and mind when you connect to it. When you feel the need for balance, call on the Arcturus, I'm saying it wrong, energy to guide you. Use the colors of pastel pink and pastel green to represent the energy and let it wash all over your body. If you chose this card, the energy of Arcturus is calling to you, open your heart and listen. For even though we are experiencing a reality of polarity as the theme for this journey, there are cosmic guides that will resonate with the frequency of balance and help remind us of our true state of existence. Okay, so this is you coming into alignment, all right? What I keep getting is like a pendulum swinging. So there might be something that you pushed out of your life, or you know, something you realized, some big revelation, and maybe you went all the way to the extreme. Okay, you're right now in a phase of coming back to the middle. For those of you that are twin flames, all right, there is a huge thing happening in the Twin Flame Collective where we are really realizing what we did, right? Okay, there's a lot of twins coming together, not in union, like back into relationships, because that's not the story for most twins, but union as in unity and like, oh, okay, thank you for coming into my life, being this mirror. And then just really realizing like what that connection brought to you. Coming back to like stasis, I keep wanting to say. And this balance is really outside of like societal shit. Okay. This is really outside of, because even with the twin thing, for me as a twin, like when I was in the super codependent thing, I was like, mixed messages. You didn't, like you didn't meet my needs. Rah, rah, rah. And then like what I learned in this balance phase when I came into alignment was like, I'm responsible for my own happiness. And I attempted to get someone to meet my needs who didn't want to meet my needs. And then rather than saying, okay, thank you, I'm going to move on with my life, I then tried to manipulate and earn it and like solve all their problems so they would give it to me. And then I was like, well, you're taking it from me. And it's like, but you're giving it. I'm responsible for setting those boundaries. Okay. I'm not fully live right now because I was driving home. Is the rest of this year not the right time to actually leave my husband, like we talked about in my reading? That will be building a new life. I forget readings almost immediately, but yes, you should still leave your husband. Nice try though, if you're who I think you are. Nice try. You're the Lori that we've done 2 readings on. You gotta leave your husband. This makes me sound like a piece of shit. No, you still have to do that. Finally got self-service again. Yes, maybe sooner. Yes. Finally got self-service again, exact same time, because I'm wondering what's going on with this twin flame stuff. All right. So, I'm going to read Against the Grain, but I can I feel like this is like heavy twin flame shit here, but here's other examples of this. Okay. For those of you just in a self-healing journey, this can be about you learning places that you were dog shit. White supremacy is an example of places where, you might have been in the space of the last couple months of like realizing a lot of your stuff. This doesn't mean it's gone forever in any of these things, but you're right now coming back to a place of balance and forgiveness. Okay. Which is kind of a spiral, because then we go and we learn more stuff. So Against the Grain, but this is the reason that this is against the grain here is because our values are changing. Okay. Interdependence has a completely different set of rules of codependence, right? Codependence has so much justified anger and so much blame placing and everything else. And this is something we're really leveling up out of. This is completely outside of what society says. You can get society to co-sign your bullshit all fucking day. Okay. But the real work is when you say like, no, I'm going to take responsibility for my own shit. It doesn't mean I'm going to that's not an excuse to let people abuse you or let cycles continue. It's actually the opposite. It's like, I'm going to take responsibility for myself and I'm not going to let this continue to go on. I'm babbling. Man, I haven't done these in so long. I forgot how much I babble. This oracle comes with a special message for you. You are someone who lives and breathes in the depths of the creative waters. You need to lose yourself in the flow of music, nature, dreams, imagination, and fantasy through art, literature, meditation, dance, and in the sensual surrender of the sacred waters of the ocean. You must go against the grain. It is just your way. You are not one of the followers, but one of the agitators. However, yours is not a force of disrespectful chaos. You are just a loving catalyst, and by simply being yourself, you constantly remind people that there is always another way. This oracle comes with the particular guidance that you are meant to be exactly how you are. You are meant to be the black sheep, the rainbow sheep, or even the wild wolf of the flock of sheep. The daring butterfly spirit calling to the caterpillars, that is you. The price you pay for the gift of individuality is that you must take care of it and guard it so that you are not dulled down and conditioned into playing at being something you are not. If this has happened or is threatening to happen, this oracle brings you comfort. You always dream of birds that fly underwater. You know that the true nature of your being can never be changed. At most, it can only be hidden for a time. Blah, 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 blah. So much wing imagery, right? So this is really closing out a chapter for the twins, especially. What oracle deck am I using? Geez. This is Language of Light. This is Galactic Heritage. I fucking forget the name of these, and I don't have the boxes here in this hotel room. These are great though. They're all like stuff like this. They're good clarifiers. And then this that I'm reading you is Sacred Rebels. So Sacred Rebels is my favorite. Sacred Rebels and Galactic Heritage are my favorite oracle decks. But I use these, like, I use them all. I love oracle decks more than tarot. This is still, Brian's mad at me still. All right. Two's a little heavy. Two's got some heavy stuff going on. To be honest, two feels like this feels like stage 2 of what 2 is in, right? So we've got whispers. Whispers for me is like you're being gently guided by your guides or the higher dimensions or whatever. And this is like whispers is a good confirmation. I want to make sure I'm not going to miss the drugstore. Okay. So healing crisis and purging. This is a lot of people who are dealing with this ancestral stuff right now, kind of on the forefront of your mind. If you are feeling yourself like outraged by, it's called the Soul's Journey deck. Thank you. That's this one. If you're feeling yourself kind of outraged by things in a disproportionate way, like we kind of talked about that energy around like freedom and masks and everything else. I don't want to harp on the mask thing, but like that's just an example of right now pushing back and then them and whatever. This is, you're probably in this collective that's doing this healing process. Okay. Blame. All right. If you're feeling powerless or stuck, search yourself for blame right now, because what blame does is it keeps us stuck because we're like, that person is making me feel bad. I was just locked up in all kinds of dumb fucking drama shit. And I let myself get swept up in drama because I like lose interest in it really quick. So I don't try to be like risen above it. I just like, I play with it for a minute and then let it go. But I was really kind of stuck in a loop of it, and probably because I was sick. But it does get addicting, right? And it does, like, it gets to the point where like, I don't know what to do. I can't make a move either way. Like I was dealing with this bullshit with people stalking my social media and using it against me. And I was like, I was stuck because I wanted to make my profile private, but in order to make it private, I have to change it into a different kind of profile. And then I lose some of the features that I like. And like, when I'm not in a place of feeling victimized by someone else, I can just like make these decisions and cut these fucking things, but I couldn't. I was just like looping on it for like a month. And then finally I just got my head out of my ass and was like, listen, I am responsible for my own happiness. Whether or not someone is doing something shitty to me doesn't change the fact that I'm responsible for it. So what do I have to cut? Like I have to lose some features. I lose some features, whatever. So that's just something to look at. If you're feeling stuck or trapped, blame a lot of times holds us in that spot. Have you got a copyright for the Interdependence Bill of Rights? Because it's utterly brilliant. It needs to be put in print and produced for millions of people to display in their homes and workplaces. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. My totally feeling has some big is coming and had to push it to happen. My big push for my higher self. I love it. All right. Now, this feels really, I got to be honest. This feels like the energy of someone who's holding on to a resentment because that's all you have left. If I let go of this God, there's a lot of twin flame energy here, guys. If I let go of this resentment, this is all I have left of them, is what I hear someone saying right now. That almost makes me want to cry. Oh, Lori. It is. This is the, or you guys are gonna make me cry. Whew, this hit somebody fucking like a fucking ton of bricks. It is. It's the end of a timeline for one of you. I've got goosebumps and everything. Holy shit. Some of you, this is a parent who passed, one of you. Maybe a drug overdose or something. Like, this is someone who lost a parent, and yeah, this isn't just twins, but being mad at someone is what you have left, and it's time to let them go because it's stopping you from going to your higher timeline. You can't take them with you. I would do a little ritual around. I'm like covered in goosebumps right now. I feel like the parent person isn't in here yet, but it is it reminds me of the movie Flatliners, you know, where it's like, here are these wounds and it's time to say goodbye to them. But like, if I stop being mad, then that's it. There's fucking something just like walking through the mirror back there. Cool. I don't want to get distracted by otherworldly beings on this one. It just walked past the mirror. It's fine. It's fine. It is letting go of a part of you and like the timeline that you share together. All right. Your oracle card is release the dark wound and let love live. What's so interesting about this card is you can see her skeleton through her hands, and that fish is half dead. Heavy fucking energy, man. I'm not reading the whole thing because if we detach something, I guess I am. If we detach something from its source too soon, trying to force it to become what is not ready to become, we can unintentionally sap it of its strength and kill it. There is a dark wound in the consciousness of humanity which demands perfection and denies process. If you are thinking of publishers before you have even written the book, if you are comparing your unfinished song idea to the latest best-selling pop release, if you have decided you are not yet good enough or worthy enough to succeed before you've given everything you've got and asked for divine help, then this dark wound has you in its grasp. You have to let go of the death grip of perfectionism and let yourself and your ideas live. Love is abundant, creative, and inspiring. It moves us to so much more joyously and creatively than fear. You are being asked to honor the path of your own love, what inspires you, what feels exciting, joyful, and perhaps even different. Let that live. Release the dark wounding of false belief. There are countless stories of vastly different successful artists who have nearly binned the project that was making their career because their despair fostered their own dark nature. They doubted. They were uncertain. Was their work any good? Was it useless? They struggled to believe the work to come to light. The work. My brain moves so much faster than I can read. They struggled to believe in the right of a work to come to life, whether it was accepted, revered, or rejected by others or not. They nearly lost their work to fear. Undoubtedly, there have been many times when this actually happened and the work was not saved, not allowed to live. Do not let this happen to you. Whether something is meant to be commercially oriented or a more personal creation for your own therapeutic healing, it must be allowed to be without judgment, without criticism, and without premature evaluation. It must be allowed to be what it is and have time, love, patience, and attention to reveal it. Feels a little different than the rest of this energy. So maybe some of you picked two and you're not in this energy. Maybe this is both. Starting a new business right now and during Mars retrograde not advised. Yeah, if you can start it in the next, just don't launch anything. You can plug away at it, just don't launch anything, is my understanding. Google that. But you have until September 9th. The Wild Wook. Wow, I had this thought crying in the shower today. Love flatliners. I did it. I finally let go because it was all the resentment and the hatred. I haven't felt this good in a decade. I love it. That was for me. I'm the artist who picked 2. All right. Yeah, that feels pretty. Although I got to be honest, the fucking picture looks exactly like this energy. I don't know what about go after your creative endeavor is let go of your dead fish. It's killing your fucking hands. But like, so I feel like this is this. And then also Melissa picked 2. So, go after your creative endeavor. It's probably both. You know what I mean? All right. Number 3. I got to go eat or something. Channeling. I just said that like I'm mad at you guys. Not merely a compliment. Seriously, please put your name on it and print it and publish it before someone else does. I don't care if someone else does. I take the shit out of the ether. It's not mine. The fear is killing the hands. That's probably it. All right. So channeling. This is a message from your goddamn aliens. So number 3 is about supernatural powers. Talking about growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Power of attraction. Okay. It's a lot of manifesting energy, dream time, and awakening. There's a whale synchronicity for somebody. You're getting magic powers. You're getting messages and dreams. You're leveling up. Pay attention. Keep a journal. If you get like flashes of visions in your mind when you're talking to someone, those are messages. Say it out loud. Just say, I don't know, for some reason I'm seeing a watermelon, it's fucking someone's readings, might have been yours, Lori. I was like, wouldn't shut up about tires. Like, if you're hearing something, pay attention to this stuff, expand these things. If you're thinking about getting in a tarot, get in a tarot. If you're thinking about, you can offer people services for free. There's going to be something, I think, on the new website, Imagination Project website, for people who are learning their craft, that they can give free readings and shit. And then you're going to have lots of opportunities. People love a free reading. That's it. So number 3, you're in a phase from now to October of really stepping into supernatural gifts. You're probably going to start seeing weird shit walking out of my mirror, so on and so forth. Dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Write them down. Whale saying, hi. I just ate a watermelon. I was like, watermelon, Jessa. I found people on the news starting to use the word interdependence. Melanie is right. Copyright that shit. I didn't make up interdependence. I heard it somewhere, I'm sure. It's all just the collective stuff. So if it's supposed to get accredited to me, it will. But I'm not really trying to hold on to any of this stuff too tight. I'm just trying to get to the next thing. All right, leveling up. I started Trot and doing donation-only readings. Oh, tarot. I keep waking up from dreams saying I'm not safe here. Ooh. I off work with PTSD. I had fasciitis something out of nowhere. I just saw you giving your voice to voiceless women. Oh, that's awesome. I want to hone in on what I do, Akashic readings and Reiki. I looked up fish, creativity, and tarot. That's why. Interesting. All right. It's dying because of the thing. Yeah. All right. It's also someone's twin flame. And I bought a watermelon today. It's so funny. So the fucking visions I get are ridiculous. And half the time they're just like nonsensical. Had a dream of swimming under the ocean with whales. I wish I could remember my dreams. They leave as soon as I wake up. I picked 3 and this morning tried to free write channel. Yeah, keep working on it because it's popping right now. It's popping for the next couple months. And for me, what I got about October was like revelations, not like the book of the Bible, but like realizations. So I never say this, but everyone send me good energy, because I am definitely really wanting the house I'm going to see tomorrow at 10 a.m. It has everything that I want, including a hot tub. This bitch needs hot water to sit in as often as possible, and a nice office for me to do readings and lives and everything else. So just send me good. It's the first time I've ever requested that in my life. So dorky. So yeah, I will let you guys know tomorrow. That Sarah woman that I like shared a download from her, she is available tomorrow to record. So I'll have the new Patreon episode out Saturday or Sunday. And then, yeah, I'm going to do, yeah, thank you guys so much. And I will talk to you soon.